consideration how you're going to celebrate Mother's Day with your loved ones. I can't tell anyone what to do, but I can say, think about the way you plan to celebrate. To the men who can hear my voice, listen to me good. Our queens need us now more than ever before. Whether they're your biological mother, stepmother, aunt, sister, wife, or the mother of your kids, they all need us to step up, and Mother's Day is just a reminder that we have to take charge even more than what we're already doing. So I'm taking this opportunity and special moment to thank God for giving me the opportunity to share this information across the nation directly related to COVID-19. The planning, the preparedness, and the coping, and what it means to our communities in terms of health, law, spirit, education, jobs, and relationships. So thank you, God. Before we get started, my heartfelt condolences goes out to my niece Karen, whom I spoke to today, for her loss. And to Miss Lena, who I also spoke to today, she had a loss this morning due to the COVID-19, whom I knew the individual. So sad, so very, very sad. So needless to say, I love you, and may God comfort you in these difficult times. So good evening, ladies and gentlemen. I'm your host, Dr. Mike. And to the returning listeners and to our new listeners, welcome to Lean On Me National Information Sharing Conference Call. Tonight we will present to you Open Mic Night. Let me explain. Our listeners send in some compelling questions to leanonme403@gmail.com to our panelists. So I strongly requested that the panelists would join our show again, and they would answer these questions for themselves. We only concluded 4 tonight, but I'll get the other speakers on board in the coming weeks. So remember to like us on YouTube, Lean On Me, Dr. Mike, and email us at leanonme403@gmail.com. And also, if you haven't already done so, please mute your phones. So, please allow me to introduce our co-host for the evening. From Chicago, Illinois, Dr. Pierre-Louis, an entrepreneur, college professor, and respected supporter of philanthropy and volunteerism. I give you Professor Pierre-Louis. Hey, Darlene.
What's going on, Mike? What's happening?
Darlene, I'm here. I'm excited. I'm here, and all of our speakers are here, and I think everybody's raring to go.
Fantastic. I tell you, when you were talking about the pandemic and the loss of different ones, and these Karen's relatives and the different ones that you mentioned, I mean, we have to take this so serious if we're not taking it serious already. And evidence of that is our latest news that valet has tested positive for coronavirus. So this virus is non-discriminatory. So we really have to take precautions.
Yes, indeed. That is true.
Yeah.
So, darling, before we get started, how's the weather out there? Because I always ask you that, because I'm just curious. Is it snowing in Chicago?
Oh, there is snow in the forecast, and if it snows, I will cry. I
was only kidding, darling.
Oh, well, it's in the forecast, but today it is sunny, and it's like 50 degrees, and a little windy. It's always wind in Illinois, Chicago. So that's what we have.
Okay, cool.
Yeah.
So, Darlene, it's all yours. Take it away.
Okay. All right. So as Mike said, welcome to Lean On Me. This is a national call-in information sharing session founded and hosted by Dr. Mike. Michael Benson is a community activist and grassroots organizer connecting to us from Fair, Delaware. As Dr. Mike has said, the world as we know it will never be the same because of the COVID-19 pandemic and other issues that is impacting the African American community. Therefore, Lean On Me has gathered experts and panelists from different disciplines and fields to share their knowledge and experiences so we can plan for what's ahead. So again, I'm your co-host, And I want to thank Dr. Mike for the opportunity to co-host Lean On Me, which is a relevant and critical information session. So let's turn attention to our panelists for tonight. Give me a second. We have Dr. Robert A. Benson, is a United States Air Force veteran. Dr. Benson is a mentor, public speaker, and celebrated author. He has contributed to research in the areas of public administration, aviation, as well as have written 2 self-help books entitled The Book of Dads 1 and 2. Dr. Benson is an advocate for advancing knowledge and truth. He created and directs and hosts a popular podcast, The Book of Dad Radio Show, where he interviews celebrities and experts who are willing to share their stories to disclose truth and knowledge. The Book of Dad Radio Show podcast is available on iHeartRadio, Speaker, I believe that's what it says here, iTunes, and other popular podcast venues. Our next panelist is Miss Ynonie Mills. She is a field underwriter manager at the Lincoln Heritage Life Insurance Company. Ynonie has 20 years of experience in account management, sales support, business development, and has established effective strategies on how to interact and mentor with emphasis on diversity. While working for General Electric, she participated and completed the Six Sigma Process Improvement Program, which gave her tools to identify business needs and to present effective solutions within the marketing and advertising industry. Ynonie is a professionally trained and certified coach. She received her CBC certification from Life Coach Institute of Orange County. She was awarded the Associate Certified Coach Certificate from International Coach Federation. We also have Miss Tamara Green. Tamara is a science and English teacher. She's been in education for 10 years and teaching 5th and 6th grade science and English for the last 2 years. Tamara attended both undergraduate and graduate studies at Chestnut Hill College. Her degrees are in Bachelor Elementary Education and a Master's in Education in Reading. She graduated with academic distinction of cum laude and was inducted into the Phi Beta Kappa and Kappa Delta Epsilon 2 Distinguished Honor Society. And we also have, and I don't have her bio, but Miss Tina Jordan is a mental health counselor, and when she comes up, she's going to give a little intro about herself, and then she will address some questions that you all have submitted to leanonme@403.email. Okay, so before we get questions to our presenters, we want you to mute your phones, please. We just want to tell you about the structure for tonight. So the panelists will be asked questions and provide answers to those questions that were sent to leanonme403@gmail.com. Those questions came in from prior callers during earlier sessions. After our panelists have addressed those questions, we're going to ask Dr. Mike to come back and rejoin us and provide information that we can use to help us connect and to move forward. At the latter end, we're going to open up questions to all of you faithful listening audience. So we're going to ask you to unmute your phones at the end, have your questions ready, so that because the panelists are ready for you. All right, so let's get going. So, you give me a second. I'm going to get over to the questions. All right, this question is for Ynonie Mills. Our callers want to know, Americans who have life insurance, will they be covered if they should die from the COVID-19? Is it written in the policy that you're covered? Ynonie? Unmute your phone. Okay. I don't hear from Donnie. All right.
Johnny, are you there?
So
I know she's here.
okay, unmute your phone. We're going to come back to you, Vonnie. Okay, so the next question will be for Tina, the mental health counselor. Here's the question.
I'm sorry. I'm here.
Oh,
here.
Vonnie?
I hit the wrong
Okay.
button.
Oh,
I hit the wrong button.
All right.
Good evening, everyone. Good evening. I know. I'm here.
Good evening.
I'm here. Thank you for the. It's Ynonie, by the way. I know everyone gets
Ynonie. Ynonie. Okay,
Yeah,
not Vonnie.
that's
Ynonie.
okay.
Okay,
That's
got
all right.
you. Got you,
That's
Ynonie.
okay. Well, the question, I appreciate the chance to come back and talk a little bit about life insurance and the benefits of it. But the question is, Americans who have life insurance, will they be covered should they die from the COVID-19 pandemic? And is it written in the policies that you're covered because of the pandemic? Now, there are companies that are there be asking that question. Can everyone hear me? Yes. There are companies that are definitely doing just that. And if those of you who were on the last time, please remember when I said you must read your policy. All right? There are companies who are doing just that. There are companies who are no longer doing any kind of underwriting for the category that's mostly affected by the COVID-19. The demographics are ages 50 to, I think, 80, 85. They have stopped underwriting for that demographics right now. So, yes, they have the right to do that, but it has to be written in the policy, and you do have a right to ask those questions. Not all companies are doing that, but yes, some of them are doing that.
Okay, well, thank you so much. So if we don't have that written in our policies, we definitely want to get it done, or definitely check it out.
If you already have a policy and it's not already hard-coded or written in that policy, then they have to honor it if the person passes away as a result of the COVID-19. If you already have an existing policy and that was not part of the language, then they must honor it as it is now. But going forward, yes, they do have a right. And I just wanted to clear that up. They do have a right to make those changes.
That's good information. Thank you, Ynonie. Yes. Our next question is for Tina Jordan, mental health counselor. The question, Tina?
Yes.
Reads, because everyone reacts differently to stressful situations, and the COVID-19 definitely is causing enormous amounts of stress, who is at a higher risk of having a mental breakdown? The children who see their parents going through the COVID-19 health and economic stress, or the adults experiencing these issues?
Okay, well, I think the adults, because they have more of a burden to bear, they have to be concerned about supporting their family financially. They have to be prepared about covering their children, whereas the children don't really have to be concerned about covering their parents. So I would say the parents have the burden. And I apologize for my biography. I am a retired director of an adult training facility for Catholic Social Services. I am a graduate, magna cum laude from Lincoln University Master's Program, and I was the first African-American director of my facility for Catholic Social Services. Again, I'm retired now, but yes, and piggybacking off of what Mike was saying about Mother's Day. Mother's Day is
Please use your phone.
my mother again has gone on to glory, and I miss her. But people are stressing about not being able to be with their mothers physically. So that's another stressor, especially if their mother is older in age and they're thinking this may be the last Mother's Day for them. So keep that in mind. Even when I was looking at Mother's Day cards, I found it challenging, like the little things we take for granted. So mental health is extremely, extremely important. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you for that informed response. Our next question is for Tamara Green. It's probably a long question, so bear with me, Tamara. The question is, the closing of school buildings and the move to distant learning this spring during the COVID crisis has led to changes in the way teachers interact with their students. In many schools, students rely on their teachers, not only for academics, but also for a sense of stability, comfort, and more. How has this relationship changed between you and your students based on the fact that technology is the only way to communicate and to teach? Has technology hindered your relationship with your students? Tamara, if you're out there, unmute your phone.
Sorry, I'm steady talking too. I said good evening. I said happy Mother's Day to all the moms. And thank you all for your well wishes as well. To answer your question, the relationship, yes, significantly. Like the question, the person that asked the question, said the students rely heavily on teachers for not only for education, but we wear so many hats. We are nurses, we are counselors, therapists, we feed our kids, we do hair, we do it all. So technology, of course, you can't have the physical touch or even the human contact that our kids are so used to experiencing. I don't know, for those that may have been in the previous calls, may have heard me say that going virtual has been a hindrance for a lot of our students, because a lot of our students come to school for meals. They come to school to get away from abusive situations or unhealthy housing and home situations. So it definitely has hindered the relationships of not only their teachers, but also with their peers. A lot of teachers within the Archdiocese, we're actually going through training on helping students deal with acute trauma, which a lot of these students are dealing with as a result of not being able to have that personal human contact with their teachers and their classmates. So I know for my teachers in my school, we are being very intentional with calls, with the Zoom calls, and just having, checking in on one another, and also coming up with really strategic ways to try to provide some type of normalcy with our kids, whether it's movies, whether it's games, videos our kids do for one another. We have different themes for the day in addition to our teaching, to try to just, again, provide some type of normalcy as best as we can now that we are 100% virtual.
Yeah. Thank you very much. Yeah, normalcy is very important. Especially
we spend a lot of time with your kids. I think people forget how much time.
Yeah. Thank you so much, Tamara. Our next question is for Dr. Benson. You can unmute your phone if it's muted. So, Dr. Benson, the question reads, did you say on another call that the litany of health inequalities and inequities in America is killing a disproportionate number of African Americans? What were some of those inequalities or inequities?
Okay, well, good evening, everyone. Thank you for having me on the call, Dr. Benson. I hope I can add some value to this pertinent information sharing session. Happy Mother's Day to all the mothers. It's a great event. We can't exist without you all, for sure. Some of the things that what I was alluding to at the time was just some of the historical things that have happened to the African American throughout history. One thing I referred to was the Tuskegee experiment and how there was a proliferation of disease from a mere experiment. Some of the other things that contribute to some of the health issues that African Americans face are, essentially people who have access to health care or quality health care based on their income and their ability to afford it, especially now. And historically, African Americans have been unemployed at a high rate. As a matter of fact, as much as last year, I'm looking at some statistics now, where African Americans were, on an average, unemployed, at around 5.6%. So you couple that with the fact that most people are seeking health care or getting health care through employment when you don't have it, or if you're subject to a public health system, if you will, that's limited on a number of levels, then that most certainly contributes to the inequities, if you will, or the ineffectiveness of a lot of health care programs for African Americans.
Thank you for that. Absolutely. A lot of people do look for health care through employment, and once that employment ends, boom, there's no health insurance, And then if they try to get that COBRA, then it's very expensive. Thank you for that.
It's interesting because it's the thing that's amazing about it, and if I could just interject one more time, is that COBRA is actually supposed to be affordable when it's in fact more expensive than it was intended to be. So there is another element or variable to add to the problem.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Thanks for that. This is good information. Okay, we have another question for Ynonie. Ynonie, if the pandemic worsens, okay, super. If the pandemic worsens, industry experts say life insurance companies may institute stricter guidelines for underwriting. I'm thinking about investing into Lincoln Heritage Funeral Advantage. Will you add exclusionary riders on the new policy to avoid paying out on the coronavirus death? Do you think this will become an industry standard? That is, the exclusionary riders.
Yeah. I can speak directly for Lincoln Heritage. And I did the research on this myself, just to be absolutely sure, because I wanted to bring you the most current information. We know that industry standards change from time to time. But Lincoln Heritage is not at this time, and they have assured me that they will not. And here's a word that Lincoln uses that you may not hear within the industry. Their moral responsibility at this time is never to make that change. They will never do that. See, Lincoln Heritage is a privately owned company. They're not under the guidelines of Wall Street and those companies. So they have assured me that they will never make those changes. And so people who have coverage with Lincoln Heritage or is planning on getting coverage with life insurance, coverage with Lincoln Heritage, should not worry about getting coverage if they should get the COVID-19 virus. And not only that, if someone should get the COVID-19 virus, their coverage opportunity would still be the same, meaning that they would get same-day coverage. In most insurance companies, for the first 2 years, you're not covered. Lincoln has assured me that even if you were to contract the COVID-19 virus, you will still be eligible for same-day coverage. So